Hello, this is a tutorial about how to use ACYMailing. The first thing you need to do is log into the administrator section of the site. You do that by going to the address bar up here and you type in administrator. Now you'll see the rest of the string. It may come up if you've logged in before. That's okay, just hit enter. And you'll see we went to the back end of the Joomla framework. This is the back end of the Mac.org site. You see my name or my username and password have been pre-filled. If you have permissions to go into the back end of the site and you have been there before, then yours will pre-fill as well. Otherwise, type in your username and password and log in. What you see is the control panel, the basic control panel that you'll always see when you log into the back end of a Joomla framework. We want to go to components. It's in this selection of menus right here. It's the middle one, so we're going to mouse over that and you'll see there's several different components in this section. ACYMailing is at the top. So you'll mouse over that and you'll see another sub-menu opens. What we're going to do is create a new newsletter. So you go to newsletters and enter. And you'll see they have a new list of, it has a list of newsletters that have already been created there. We're going to create a brand new one for you. We're going to newsletters. We don't need to go to templates or anything else. We already have a template made for this site. So you click on new. And you'll see we already have a template made and it defaults to that template. The first thing we need to do is name that newsletter. So I'm going to call this, this is a brand new newsletter. You'll name it whatever you want to, whatever feature this newsletter is or whatever title you want it to be. This is how it's going to show up in the email when it goes out to people. So that's your subject line. The alias underneath you do not need to fill out. It's going to autofill once you save it. Another thing that's important is you see here they have publish, visible, and send HTML version. All three of these need to have their radio button selected as yes. So we'll select yes for published. If it's not selected as published, it will not send the email. Now we'll go down to where it says HTML version. This shows what the template looks like right now, and I have pre-filled it with what we call Greeking. This is just for position text. You don't want to keep this in your email when you send it out. We will for our purposes, but when you type in your emails, you don't want this on here. So you might use one row or two rows, maybe all three rows, but if you only use one row, delete the rest of them. Just go in there and I'll go on ahead and delete these. Select the text and delete it. You can keep the columns intact. That way the formatting isn't broken. Okay, so those are gone. So all you're sending is this simple email right here. So we want to make a title for that. Right now I have it where it would personalize all the users that you send in a specific category or list. Subtag colon name will actually pull from the database the name of the person who you have in that particular list. So we'll say, hello John, this is our latest newsletter. And it's a nice feature. We don't need it today. For this demonstration, we'll take it out and we'll just select this whole thing and say title of newsletter. Now you might have seen me back up there for a second on of because it was misspelled, and if you misspell something, there will be a red underline underneath it to let you know. That's the spell check feature on this particular tool. But I'm going to select title. I want to see, it looks like newsletter was misspelled. When I selected it, there's a red underline underneath that as well because it doesn't have an S. And now it's spelled correctly. We will not get that red underline. I'm going to select it and I'm going to make it bold, or what I'm going to do is actually use this tool, this tool that says paragraph. It's a format tool. And I'm going to say I want this to be heading number 1. Now you see how it changed to heading number 1? This is actually just like any other word processing tool that you would ever used before in Word, WordPad, Notepad. It works the same way. You could actually do it individually by selecting like bold, italic, underline, select a font family, font size, any kind of style, centered. There's your justification there. You can use just about anything here if you know how to use it. It's there available to you. Okay, but we've just made this, and newsletter is bigger. We're going to go ahead and remove some of this here and type in, this is a test. Now I misspelled that on purpose so you can see that red underline again, just so you know that the spell checking is working. I'm going to go ahead and back up, hit test. Alright, more info is made. You could actually select this and link it to another page, which I recommend if you do have a page on the website that's relevant to the newsletter that you're sending out. Right now I'm just going to leave it as is. Okay, and then the last thing that you need to do is select the list that it's going to. Now if you want it to go to everybody in your membership, you would hit all. Okay, the only thing that we have in here that doesn't really work right is newsletters. That was a test list that we put in there first of all. But if you hit all, you'll notice that all of the radio buttons are populated with all. If you hit none, then none of them are. You can select any one or multiple of them. You can skip every other one if you'd like to. We're going to send chapter directors right now. Just click on yes. So all we're sending is chapter directors. Okay, now you're ready. The next thing you need to do is go to preview and send. Template tags, replace tags, preview and send. So you click on preview and send. It's going to take you to the preview. Okay, this is what the newsletter is going to look like once it's sent out. I know it doesn't look like much, but that's what it's going to look like. You have a text version down below. It's important to send a text version because some email programs do not receive graphics. All they receive are the text. But it will say have the title of the newsletter and all the information that they need and the unsubscribe link, which is important every time you send out a newsletter. That's what it's going to look like. Now, if you go over here where it says send a test, you'll see that it's already got my email address and username populated in there. That's because I'm the one who logged into the site. If you had logged into the site and you were given permissions to do this, then it would be your name and email address that it's asking you to send a test to. If you click on send a test, then it'll send a test straight to your email or whatever email you dictated. It will send to. If you have more than one person looking at these emails, to make sure they're correct before you send it out in bulk to the people in the list, you could actually click on the selection list and go to other. As you see, it'll add a little box for the email address. This is another field. Now you can send it to somebody else, but you can only send it one at a time as far as the test is concerned. So if there's another person you would like to look at it, make sure everything's spelled right, or if everything's in there, you want to add something else, that's where you would do it. And then you'd send test. Do not use send, not yet. Wait until everything is correct and okay. If it's solely your responsibility and you are happy with the preview, then you could hit send. And it's going to send it to everybody in this chapter's list, the chapter directors list with the 15 people in it. If you want to change it, you can click on change. If you need to make additions or something, you can click on change. It's going to take you back to that main list. And then you just select the newsletter that you just created. This is a brand new newsletter. Click on it. And you make your change. And then the process goes over again. You've made your change. It tells you that this one's selected. You go to preview. After you've made your change, preview and send. And then, of course, at last, everything's good to go. You hit send. When you hit send, the newsletter will go out to the 15 users that you've selected in the list. And it will have a dialog box that pops up right in the middle of the window, and it's going to tell you that it sent it. Once it's done, it'll tell you it's finished, and you close it out, and that's all there is to sending a newsletter. Thank you very much.